All right, thanks for joining me. And if you're ready to go for this nice drive in this 2006 Explorer 4-liter 6-cylinder Eddie Bauer edition 4-wheel drive, we're gonna go right now. Here we go. There's our brand new shifter assembly. If you didn't hear me talk about that in the walk around video, I mentioned that. That's all brand new and been replaced. Common problem on these to get stuck in park and not want to come out until you tap the button about 1,000 times. This one you had to tap it 4 or 5 times to get it to come out of park. Not every time, but sometimes. But when that happens, you need to replace that assembly. But thanks for joining. Thanks for riding along here. If you want to see more detail of this Explorer, of the outside, the inside, the engine compartment, this car's history, the new parts it has, and me talk on and on about it, you can check out my walk around video of it, which is on my channel, probably right next to this one. I do appreciate your comments. I appreciate any suggestions. I appreciate hearing how I've helped someone make a decision to buy a similar vehicle somewhere in the country or the world. I really do like to hear your feedback and your comments and things and ways of which I've helped you. It makes me feel good, and it makes me feel very helpful to everyone when I know that multiple people get benefits out of my videos. So please feel free to say something. I appreciate it, and I like to read about it. I did mention on the walk around video, this Explorer has a Cooper all-terrain tire on it, and I show that and talk about it in the walk around video. And this also has aftermarket wheels, but the wheels don't have anything to do with what I'm about to say. These all-terrain tires are nice tires. They're good tires, and they have a lot of tread. They're at about 8/32 tread, but they're a little bit of noise, a little bit of road noise from these tires. So if you hear that on this video in between me talking, that's what you're hearing. It kind of almost sounds like beginnings of a bad wheel bearing, but it's not. It's the tires, and these tires could be very beneficial for someone who wants to use this vehicle off-roading or going out hunting or on land that they're going to use the 4-wheel drive a lot. All-terrain tires are much better than, say, the street tires that are on that Range Rover that we just passed right there. That Range Rover couldn't go off-road if it wanted to, even though they claim they can. So anyway, all-terrain tires. When we go out on the freeway here throughout the course of this video, I'm going to drive on some city streets, and then we're going to go out on the freeway at the later part of the video. And at higher speeds, you get a little more noise out of the tires, but it's all relative because I've got the fan turned down, I've got the radio turned down, I've got everything quiet so that you can just hear the car and any other sounds and listen to me tell you about it. So I just wanted to make it a point to say something about the tires so that people don't wonder. But this Explorer rides nice, drives nice, everything works on it. I mentioned in the walk around video, except this one has a power third row seat, and the third row seat is stuck in the down position, and the seats don't want to come up. So that's something that technically doesn't work. It's another Range Rover. But anyway, everything that is important works on this. And while we're sitting here waiting for this roundabout, this has a Ford accessory remote start system, which is really nice. Was probably been on there since it was new, and it works great. You touch the button twice real quick and it starts up, and you can touch it twice again real quick and it'll turn off. But very nice to have. Some people might not, but I do like the size of this steering wheel. I like how big it is, and I like the thickness of it, but I prefer a larger, thicker steering wheel. I don't like a real skinny, pencil skinny type of steering wheel. for what that's worth. I mentioned in the walk-around video that I think somebody has attempted to dye this at some point because these are susceptible for wear. That's why it looks like a couple different colors of beige here. But whatever it is, whatever they did, it's nice and smooth, and it still rolls through your hand just like the factory leather up here. So it's not really a big deal. It's just a cosmetic color difference. Also, I mentioned on the other video that my voice is a little hoarse right now, so I apologize for that, but it's a little harder to talk when your voice feels like this. But I said we're carrying on, and we're still going to make videos today, so here we are. Another thing drivability wise that I'd like to point out, I mentioned this on the walk around again. I kind of tend to repeat the same things, I guess, between the two videos, but I think it's relevant to the driving. This particular Explorer, probably because of being an Eddie Bauer, or maybe if it were a limited, it also would have it, has adjustable foot pedals right here. So kind of nice for anybody, but particularly for a short person, a shorter height driver, because you can bring the pedals to you so you don't have to sit on top of the steering wheel. So I think that's a really, really nice feature for people that are not as tall as I am. So I think it's nice to be able to something to adjust anyway, but I think someone that's on the shorter side could get the most benefit out of those adjustable pedals. So definitely something to look for if you're considering to buy one of these and you think that could be helpful to you. So this also has a factory sunroof that works perfectly because it's an Eddie Bauer, and it even has an archaic DVD player in the headliner up there. But like I said in the walk around video, most people's children nowadays have handheld devices, so they don't really care about things in cars. I'm heading towards the freeway, so you can fast forward if you like to that segment, but while we drive to the freeway, I'm going to tell you this steering wheel is so perfectly straight, and the emblem is nice and straight because this just had an alignment, a four-wheel alignment. Also just had an oil change. Also just had brand new brakes and rotors, front and rear. So it has all new brakes and rotors. New stabilizer links in the front and the rear as well, which are the little barbell links for the suspension. Not terribly crucial or terribly expensive to replace, but they start making noise when going over bumps when they start to wear out. So those are all brand new. Also had a new tie rod and control arm on the passenger side, new ball joints on both front sides, and I think that's almost everything. The shifter assembly I talked about right here. If you own one of these and it has this problem, this had a low washer fluid light, but in fact the fluid wasn't low. So the only way to fix that is to buy the entire bottle, the reservoir that has the washer pump inside of it. So that part on this particular vehicle is brand new, which cured the problem, as well as this shifter assembly. Both those parts were from Ford, so genuine parts that took care of that problem and this problem. So yeah, a lot of new parts on this, and it drives just like it. There's nothing bad about the drivability of this particular vehicle because everything's in correct order, and again, with the brakes being new and the tires being nice, other than a little bit of noise from the all-terrain aspect, this really does a nice job. And speaking of height, I always like to comment to my height when I'm talking about a car as far as how comfortable I am. I'm like right at 6 foot, 6'1", a little over 6 feet tall, and I'm very comfortable in this. I do have the seat like all the way back so I can give you the best perspective as we drive. But you can see here I have my foot placed on the floor with my knee up, and I've got a lot of room right here. I'm looking out front, by the way, while I tell you this stuff. But I've got a lot of leg room down here for both my legs. I don't feel constrained at all. I was thinking about this, saying something about this, which led me to think about my stepmother had a brand new 1997 Ford Explorer Eddie Bauer that my father bought for her, and it was nice. It was actually a reddish color, kind of like this, but a little lighter red. This particular one is called Dark Cherry Metallic. It's almost like a Merlot wine color. And anyway, it was nice. I mean, it was a very nice vehicle, but I remember that Explorer being which would have been the generation before this generation, and it was just very tight inside. It was much smaller than this, much smaller feeling, a much smaller confined driver's area, a totally different dashboard. It was a nice vehicle, but it was this is a lot roomier and has a lot more, just feels larger. And it probably is larger, but it just feels larger. I mentioned on the walk around that the four-wheel drive components on this work as they should, no problem. And not exactly easy to demonstrate on dry pavement, but I have checked the operation and they work as they should. I actually got yelled at one time by a viewer who saw me demonstrate four-wheel drive on something on dry pavement and told me that I shouldn't do that, which is true. You shouldn't use four-wheel drive on cars that need to be engaged in their four-wheel drive. You shouldn't do that for an excessive period of time. I agree with that statement, but I do believe you can do it for a moment and it's not going to hurt anything. So we're almost up to the freeway here, and we're going to get on the freeway and go about maybe 4 miles east, and then we'll come back the same direction just so you can experience this at a little higher speed. It's a little busy time of day. Sorry for the traffic. Not that I can control it. Here we go. This also has heated seats, which right now it's only 44 degrees outside, and I have the heated seat on, and heated seats are very nice in this. I find the seat to be very comfortable, perfectly comfortable, nothing uncomfortable about it. It's wide enough, has pretty good bolstering. It's not the most deepest bolstered seat I've ever been in, but it's pretty good bolstering. It's comfortable. It's comfortable on your butt and your back. And I do think that there's good visibility in this vehicle. It's a nice seating position, nice height, looking out front. Be a good car for a first-time driver, being able to see all the way around. Speaking of, I think I forgot to mention, there's so many features, I think I forgot to mention on the walk-around video, this has rear parking sensors, which is nice because it beeps when you get close to things. It doesn't have a camera because the camera would have been a little later after this, but it has the rear parking sensors, which are nice, and beep when you get close to things. So there we are at 75 miles an hour already. And I'm going to be quiet for a little bit here so you can hear the tires that I don't think are overly noisy, but you can hear maybe the sound of them a little bit. So if you can hear that, that's great. If you can't, that's great. But I think in most people's everyday lives with these tires or someone to drive this vehicle, it's not a big deal because you're going to have some type of music on, or whatever you're doing in the car that you shouldn't be doing, music or telephone or what have you. You're going to be doing something that you're not going to be worrying about the little bit of tire noise that these tires produce. But it rides nice. Again, I think it's nice visibility, just easy to see out of and see all the way around. I love that it's a work zone and the speed limit's 60, and I'm keeping up with traffic and we're doing almost 70. I don't think anybody pays attention. Holds the road nice, it rides nice. I mean, it's pretty quiet cabin for an SUV, period, let alone of its age. There's no funny noises. Steering wheel's nice and straight. The alignment's perfect because it was just done. There's almost 80 miles an hour. The tires are nice and smooth. There's the cruise control. I just set the cruise control. There's a little green light that comes on, so I've got the cruise set at 79 miles per hour, and it works like it should. I'm going to turn that off now. There's almost 80 miles an hour. Look how straight and true the steering wheel is. There's no pulling, there's no drifting. It's just nice and smooth and straight all the way. Another thing this Explorer has that may surprise some people because of its age, it has a tire pressure monitoring system as well. So another benefit. So we're going to exit here and then get back on the freeway and do it all again. So if you've seen enough, you can certainly stop watching and listening to me, but I'm just going to continue to video and record here as we exit this freeway and turn around and go back the same way we just came. So again, thank you. Oh, Ford Focus, you got a tail light out. You got one brake. Look at this car. One brake light. The one working over there, the middle one doesn't work, the other side doesn't work. That drives me crazy. Thanks again for watching. Thanks for joining. Thanks for your comments. Thanks for any suggestions. Thanks for anything you want to say that you want to share. Share it, because I like that a lot of my videos become like a mini discussion board for all types of users and people from all over the world. It's kind of really spectacular to me, and it makes me feel brilliant for helping people and helping people make a decision about buying a car like this, and makes me feel great for people that gain benefit or knowledge about a particular car that I do a review and a video on. Whatever you can gain from it, it makes me happy. Because I do, in fact, like to help people, and I don't like people like this that won't pull up and start to make their turn when there's nothing in the way. Move it. Jesus. Okay, there you go. Or you can wait for the green arrow and then you can go. Again, this is a 6-cylinder, not the V8, but anybody would be happy to have the 6 over the 8, I would think, for fuel mileage. But this is not a dog by any means as far as getting up to speed on the freeway. It's got plenty of power. It's got plenty of power to do what any reasonable person would need, and to get up to speed and merge into traffic and do all those things. So I don't think a V8 was necessary by any means. Maybe it may have a higher towing capacity. I'm not quite sure. So that might be why some people may choose the V8. But I think this 4-liter 6-cylinder does a great job, and it's a very proven engine. So that's my opinion. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, right? Hazard styrofoam. Look at that. Well, I think this would make a great vehicle for anyone, young, middle-aged, old, at the price point that you can buy these. I think it's a very nice vehicle for the money. I think this one is an extra nice vehicle for the money, especially with how clean and nice it is and no rust and having a lot of new parts. So definitely, if you're looking for one, look for one like this. And the features are fantastic. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of features here when you really start looking at it and everything that it has to offer for what you're getting for the money. So I would recommend. I would highly recommend. I showed the 5-digit code on the outside of the vehicle in my walk around video on this vehicle, and that is one of the most genius things that I think has ever been on any Ford or Mercury or Lincoln vehicle, and I think that every car should have that. I really do. I think it's just great because you can get in your vehicle if you don't have your keys with you. You can get in your husband or wife or partner's vehicle if you are at a soccer tournament and you run out to their car and you forgot to bring their keys. You could use the code to get in. You could use the code to leave your dog in the car with the car running while you run into a gas station real quick when it's summertime and it's hot. You can lock the car, leave it running, use the code to get back in the car, keeping your dog secure and keeping the car secure from nobody stealing it. You can leave your keys in the car, which is what I do with my Lincoln. So I'm not going to give you my address, but I leave my Lincoln that I have, my Lincoln Town Car that I absolutely love, that's a Ford product vehicle. I leave it sometimes, not always, but sometimes in grocery stores or gas stations or whatever parking lots, and just leave the keys on the floor and then lock the car and use the code to get back into the car when I come back to it, and that way I don't have to carry the keys with me wherever I go. So lots and lots of uses for that 5-digit keyless, whatever they call it, IntelliCode or keyless keypad code. So a very nice feature. So all right, well, I think that's enough driving. 20, almost 7 minutes. I've been driving, I've been talking. Like I said, if you want to see more of the outside, more of the inside, and under the hood and everything, more of a walk around, check that video out on my channel as well. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate your thumbs up. I appreciate your subscriptions. I appreciate your comments. Please leave some, say something. Give me your opinion about something. I want to hear it. I want to read it. And so does the community. And it's cool. And it makes me feel good. So with that said, I wish you a great day. And I appreciate you, each and every one of you. And we will see you next time. All right? And peace. Bye-bye.